Good morning this morning, golfing God this morning. Listen, it's a different time. This has been a difficult week for me. We're not going to get together for Thanksgiving this week, just to protect everybody. My parents and I've still got some great grandparents that my parents take care of, and so I know that a lot of you were in this situation as well. And I just encourage you this morning to stay strong and do Thanksgiving how you can do it as you go through there, and just realize that this is I don't know, there's a song out there that says the same God of the mountains is the same God of the valleys. So know with utmost encouragement that it's just a valley, and we'll get back on the mountain soon as we go through there. So I woke up this morning and was reminded of this story of Samson. I think we can all relate to Samson, but let me give you a little background of Samson. Samson was actually the result of a promise from God to a woman who was sterile and childless, and not the first time in the Old Testament, right? That God has promised a young lady to bear a son. Samson had a destiny from the beginning, but we all know the story of Samson and his hair and his mighty strength against the Philistines. But I was mostly reminded by Samson's weaknesses, and Samson had a weakness for the ladies, and I can personally relate to that. Y'all know me. I think that a lot of men and women can relate to that. Samson was eventually defeated by, oh gosh, you could call it whatever you want, ignorance, stupidity, the deceitfulness of a woman. But it was really his own deceitfulness, because if we read, as I'm reading in Judges 15 and 16, Delilah tried to trick Samson multiple times, and he knew what she was doing. But listen, this is the funniest part about this whole thing, and I highlighted this passage. With such nagging, she prodded him day after day until he was tired of death. Like, gosh darn it, those darn nagging women. She nagged him to death. Like, she nagged him so bad, that he knew his weakness. He knew he couldn't trust her. She was a prostitute. He was in love with a prostitute. And he knew her weakness. Her weakness was money. She could be bought off. And his weakness was women. And he knew it. And the nagging power of a woman. I'm sorry, man. This is so funny. So that leads me to today. And what is your strength? What is it that God has given you that you need to protect with everything that you have in your life? What is that? Sometimes it's the opposite of your weakness. What is your weakness in life? For some, it's, alcohol. For some, it's negative thinking. Because for so many years, you were abused emotionally and told that you were worthless. And for men, sometimes that's easy for guys. A beautiful woman drop you to your knees like that. Sacrifice your family, your kids. For some people, it's money. For some people, you dangle money in front of them, and they'll sell off everything they own to chase that. For some, it's jealousy. You think about people who spend their entire days. They used to spend their entire days watching E! Network and following the Kardashians, and now we spend our entire day on TikTok watching and following people who we admire, or they have the things in their life that we want. So jealousy can be your weakness. But what I find about this is, I don't know, it just was really, really enlightening that when we know what our strengths are and we know what our weaknesses are, we should do anything and everything that we can to protect them. And I don't know, I just like, here's the cool thing about Samson. God knew. God knew Samson had these weaknesses in his life, and he still used him. So that's the encouraging part, right? God knew Samson wasn't a perfect guy, but he still used him. He still used him, and he gave him chance after chance after chance after chance. That's the encouraging part. The lesson here is Satan will do whatever he can to wear you down, to wear those strengths down. And I mean, to the point where he just handed his enemies the way to beat him. And not in a challenge way, he just got tired because he was doing something with someone that he shouldn't have been doing. And boy, if we can't all relate to that, they could just title this whole book in the Bible, Cheek, you know. So take from this lesson what you will, but this is what I took from it. Even the strongest of the strongest will fall. Protect your strengths, know your weaknesses, and do whatever you can to avoid them. Whatever it is. If your weakness is negativity and people who beat you down with words, you run from those people in your life right now who are beating you down with words. If alcohol is a weakness for you, you run from alcohol. If women are a weakness from you, you run from them. Just don't even give them a chance. Don't give these situations and these weaknesses a chance to take over something that's doing so good in your life. Just like Samson, so good in his life. So that's what I get from this. That's what I get from this, and hopefully you do too. And just a word of encouragement again. Verse that I woke up yesterday to: the same God of the mountains is the same God of the valleys. Going through a tough time, just keep plugging along the best that you can do. If you need to rest. Let God walk the rest of the way for you, but just keep going. Keep that faith moving forward. And the same God of the mountains is the same God of the valleys. There's going to be highs and lows. That's just a given. But he will get you through. And I'm living proof of that. So anyways, you guys have a blessed morning. And good old Samson, man. He just nagged her to death. And or he nagged him to death. That's crazy. You guys have a good morning.